All right, Flavio helps scientists find the capital to monetize, but what about everyday people, right, who are looking to find monetization for what they do?
We're always looking to make a buck, aren't we, Julia? Our last guest is CEO and founder of We Are 8, a platform that enables people to monetize themselves by accepting paid brand sponsorships for simple actions like sharing, watching, and creating content.
All right, let's welcome to the show Sue, I believe Fennessy. Okay, saying that correctly. Yeah.
It almost sounds like fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy, right?
I wish.
Yeah, and tell us, who is using We Are 8 influencers with thousands of followers, or is it everyday people? Is it brands, or and what do they get?
Yeah. So the way we see the world is that 2 billion people today are creating all the value on social, and we the people are actually the largest media channel on the planet, and yet we aren't in the economic equation.
Yeah, it says that on your t-shirt, doesn't it? Be careful with your mic, but you can show.
That's right. So we rep the people. So it's real people with between 300 followers and 3,000, 10,000 followers, real people who are actually creating all the value that can now get sponsored. Today we're being bombarded with ads. And now we're putting the power back with the people so that we, the people, can get sponsored and choose to watch branded content at a time that suits us when we want to do it and be back in control of our lives.
So for somebody like me and David, we both have a
You're
little
rock
bit
star.
over. No, thank you. But we both have a little bit under 10,000 followers on Twitter and Instagram. So for us, it like I think Carrie has like 3 times or something. So our following is not huge in the whole context of media and social media. However, it's not like nobody follows us, right?
Absolutely.
So in our case, what can we do to capitalize?
Yeah, so you'll be on the platform, but you'll just get higher offers. So the more followers you have, the more engagement you have, the more money you make on the platform. But actually, it's so up to people with up to about 40, 50,000 followers are utilizing the platform very actively because that bit of extra pocket money, we say that, people ask the question, does it really matter to make another $5, $10?
Oh, yeah.
It does, right? And we live
Especially if that's daily.
Yeah, especially daily.
Fully.
Yeah.
And 40% of all Americans, this is a Federal Reserve statistic, 40% of all Americans cannot find $400 in an emergency.
Yes.
So we are at a crisis point from an economic standpoint in the country, and that economic inequality is fueling so many other problems on the planet.
In every corner of the globe now.
Absolutely. And we think we're protected because we're in a developed market, but we're not, and it's right across the country, right across the world. It really matters. And we couldn't see any part of the global economic framework where we could find $500 billion. So the ad market globally is $500 billion. And our whole
That's bigger than the GDP of most countries.
Absolutely.
There's only a few $1 trillion countries in the world. So
Absolutely.
there's probably a dozen or so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that Facebook has become so powerful, because they're making last year $67 billion, and that makes them more powerful than most countries. So our whole mission is to encourage brands to stand with the hundreds of millions of people and take some of that $500 billion, 10% is our mission, to get back into the pockets of the people. And if they only shift 1%, that's $5 billion.
That's a lot of money.
Back to people.
Yeah, I just want to point out for our viewers, that is a federal statistics saying like a significant number of Americans cannot find 400. I believe that's 400 in cash. Like, people do have access to credit, but like, to your point, it's still a great thing if you can get your latte paid for every morning, right?
I had an unexpected $500 bill yesterday.
And it's painful. And it's hitting everyone.
Yeah.
So the idea that I can scroll through my beautiful feed of brand sponsors, get sponsored to just watch, create, or share, And with every time a brand sponsors us on 8, they also have to make impact. So they choose a charity. So 60% of the money goes through to the person, 5% to charity, and then we take 35% for providing all the framework to make it happen.
And now, Sue, I want to ask you that according to a Business Insider's article, vaping products and weight loss tea sponsorships are often, not always, but often turned down by YouTube stars just because they're so controversial. I mean, I don't personally think they're controversial, and I can think of a more controversial thing.
I think that anything could be controversial.
Yeah, controversial. Yeah. But, some products are deemed as controversial, so they're turned down. What kind of companies should people who use We Are 8 expect to work with? Do you take these things into consideration?
Yeah, it's a great question, and one that we've talked a lot about as a board. So we have our own standards on what we do and don't accept. So we don't accept tobacco, and we tend to follow the social platforms in what.
But you accept cannabis?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Because that would be sort of inconsistent, wouldn't it?
What we do, absolutely. But what we also believe, there's certain things that we just don't think. We're all about making positive impact, and there's certain things we don't. Firearms, all of these things, we don't think that brings social good. But at the same time, we also believe that it's up to people to control their own lives.
Firearms is it's a huge sport as well. So it depends on the way you look at it.
Depends on the way you look at it.
Go and advertise that somewhere else.
Okay. I mean, that is a choice.
We're going to lose a big chunk of middle America there.
Yeah. And in fact, I think the people at scale, we should be putting pressure on Facebook to say, don't accept any firearm advertising, don't accept any political advertising. I mean, I think
that's an enormous part of their revenue, though, especially political. But firearms, I've never seen a firearm ad in my feed.
I don't know if they can.
Yeah.
But it's a problem. There was Carol Cadwalader was recently talking about the role of these platforms in the breaking down of our democracy, and it is a worry when political ads can appear on a lot of these platforms. It changes the way people think, and I think we need to take responsibilities as platforms. But at the end of the day, for us, it's about who people want to be sponsored by. It's giving every single person the choice on what I accept or reject.
So you're from Australia?
Yes.
Yeah, those R's. Yeah. But you're not from the Outback because evidently you're allergic to firearms here.
I can do a pretty good accent, though.
Yeah. Love your accent.
You can do our accent?
You can do
Give it a try. So you can answer. So answer this in an American accent. Okay. What is the average amount someone can make from a post?
Okay, so when you're looking at, hang on, where do you want me to come from?
You can do New York. You can do New York.
Okay. So when you're looking at the average amount, people are making maybe 40 cents, 50 cents for a watch, and they might be making anywhere between $3 and around $15 for a share on the platform.
I think Nicole Kidman has you beat. Her American accent is like on point. So it widely varies per post.
Between $3 and $15 for a share. And then to create something, people can make between $10 and $50 to create something.
And they know that before they start taking
absolutely.
it.
So you get quoted.
This is the brand that would like to sponsor you. This is what they're going to pay you. This is the impact they're going to make in your name. This is who they're going to donate to. And you can choose to accept or reject.
Do you feel like this type of world of social media has brought the world closer together? Though you talked about the negatives, right? But here you are from Australia in New York, right? And I'm sure you have a lot of clients in your home country.
Yeah, fully. I mean, I think it's brought us together, but I also think we never act as a globe. If we think that there's 2 billion people, I mean, I'm all about what is possible and where we could take it. And even though there's 2 billion people on social media, we're never actually working together. I love the idea that a brand, Coca-Cola, could sponsor 1 billion people and say, stand with us and we're going to get 800 million people on the planet access to fresh water. I love the idea of us as a human race being able to stand together and make truly positive impact and solve some of the biggest problems on the planet. So whilst we're all about the economic empowerment, because that sits right at our core, it's actually about moving that capital and then working together to make real positive change. Yeah, because if people can't get food on the table, they are, it's hard to care about climate change. So that
or about preserving their immediate environment or anything, making long-term decisions.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and that's a big problem in the world. I think people in the developed world don't understand that in the developing world, they're more focused on meeting their immediate needs instead of their long-term needs.
Absolutely. We've got to honor that and respect that and help people feel the infinite power of their own voice to not just make money, but reclaim control and make impact. Because that gives us purpose. What we've seen is it's not just about the money. People really want recognition, they want to feel purpose, and they want to make money. So if I can lie in bed in the morning and scroll through my 8 feed and watch a few pieces of branded content, maybe share something and make $5, $10 and make social impact, I'm jumping out of bed feeling
and then
really
you can afford your latte without having coffee shaming occur, right?
Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Sue. Yeah,
Thank
come
you.
back.
Such a pleasure. I promise not to do any more accents.
Yeah, no, it was great. I love British and Australian accent. I can't even do that.
I can only do the Texan one.
I can do pretty well. I can do the British accent pretty well.
Well, you guys are all cousins anyway.
So
that's the end of today's show. I'm going to spare you listening to my accents because they're not that good, Julia.
I've heard them.
I could do a Texan and a Miami. Miami's my native.
Yeah,
but I learned how to speak proper English at school, so I'll save you that one too.
And guys, just in case if you missed part of this week's episode, you can always catch up on all of the latest on Bolt TV's Amazon Fire TV channel. Okay, repeat.
Yeah, and we're on Roku too. Actually, we're now everywhere where the cord cutters live. Where you guys live, where I live, you're a cord cutter too. Yeah. So anyway, don't forget to join us back here next week for more Bolt TV.
Okay, everybody, have a great weekend.